Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 805. My name is Christina, and on today's episode we're playing with some new Crafters Workshop templates and the Gelli Arts Printing Plate. Today I am showing you a bunch of new templates from the Crafters Workshop. The designs are mixed up. Some were designed by Julie Faye Balzer, some were designed by Dina Wakely, some were designed by Jamie from the Crafters Workshop. But they're all great. So I love this little doily here. These are some of the 6x6 designs. This circle one, I love anything that has texture, and then here we have 4 different sizes of the hexagons. I've been using these, so that's why they're all out of their packages. This one is fun, a little alphabet, all sort of scrambled, mixed up. Here's some more of the smaller ones. We have sort of the spirograph, this sort of elevator texture, some hearts. I love this print here, really fun. Here's some of the designs I showed you earlier, but now it's the 12x12. That's like the elevator door. And here is that circle, but the larger size of it. Then I have some smaller ones. I love this little swirly design. Some numbers. I think the rest are. We have the hexagons again, but in the 12x12. There's this texture. I can tell you the name of it. It is window screen. This one is called window screen. This one is called Solace. So I showed you that earlier in the 6x6. And this is Dina's mini messy circles and the bigger messy circles. These are designed by Dina Wakely. And I think these are paint caps. Yeah, these are Dina's as well, called mini paint lids and the 12x12 paint lids. So you can see lots of fun new designs to work with. So if you watched the video that we had filmed in their booth, it was of me and Julie making a necklace using the Gelli Arts Plate. So I wanted to investigate more about these Gelli Art plates, and I found one and bought one. And then I was using the new stencils and layering them up to see what I could come up with. So here is one of the backgrounds I did in my art journal. This has a couple layers of the stencils, and then I took that screen and just did it over top with some paint. And I did another page here. And on the blog, I took pictures as I went, so I can show you step by step like how the layers came to be. And in both of these, what I actually did was in the end, I took some sprays because there was white in some of this, and I sprayed the background after the paint was already on. So in those. So those are a couple backgrounds. But like you saw in the video, when you do one and you have more there. So I had this piece of paper that I was playing with to get the second layer of designs off them and that. And then I made a bunch of tags as I went as well. I'll just layer them on. So with these tags, I can either use them for tags, or I can cut them up later and use them in a project as well. So I'm going to show you how to use the Gelli plate and make some designs similar to the ones I have here. So this is the Gelli Arts Gel Printing Plate. Comes in this clamshell. Open it up. Comes with some ideas in that little pamphlet there. And here we have it. And it has the protective sheet. You just want to take that off. Put it aside for later. And then they suggest putting it on a piece of paper to work on for whatever reason. But anyway, so it is like about 1/2 inch thick. It's 8 by 10. And it's sort of squishy and jelly, and sort of a fun little material. And it also comes in a 6x6 for smaller projects. So the next thing you do is you choose some paint, and you don't want too much paint. So I'm using the Echo Green. This is Waterfall, and I'm going to use lime with it. And then you take a brayer and you smush your paint around. Now I don't want them to completely blend to one color. I want both of those colors showing. So you can see you get a thin layer of paint. Now I'm going to put my stencil down, starting with this stencil here. And I like to start with one that's sort of big and open for my base. So you put it down, and then you take whatever material you're going to use first. So the first thing I'm going to do is do a page in my art journal. And you lie it over top, and then you just want to burnish it down. Because I have that stencil there, the paper, there's that one layer between the paper and the jelly plate. And so the jelly plate's good at this point because it's that squishy. I can squish my paper into it. Okay, let's take it off and see what sort of print we end up with. Ooh, there you go. You can see that's very cool. So even though not all of it came through, I probably didn't burnish there or that. It's the first layer, and you want, that's good. You don't always want that perfect print. And the other thing you can see too is how the blue and the green, I like how you get that all over, like the different colors throughout the print. So I'm going to put that aside for one moment and take this off. Now what I can do at this point, because there's some paint on it, sometimes I will take a tag, just going to move my jelly print, and just see if I can get any of that paint. Oh, I think I just put it the wrong way. That doesn't help, does it? When you put your fingers in the paint, it's not going to go on your tag. But sometimes I try to see if I can get any of that paint off. Because I did such a, I just got a really faint, because I did such a thin layer of paint, it's harder to get that print off it. But you can see here now we have this other really great print. So this is when you can take another piece of paper. This time I found this patterned paper. It was from the Basics from Basic Gray a while back. But I thought, oh, I'm going to try doing the print on a printed paper. So I'm just going to lie that on like that, and then burnish it with my hands. And now that it's just flat, I don't have that stencil between the layers. This should pick up more of the design. So you can see there we have a really neat print on the paper. So there's still a little bit of paint here. So I'm going to take this tag that I'd done before. Not much got on there. And I'm going to layer that tag there. Oh, not much of it is coming off. Depending how much you use, sometimes you can get some more of that paint off. But I think I used a thin enough coat that we're not going to get too much more at this point. Let's see. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to give it a little bit of a mist and see if that will refresh the paint. And see now what happens if I do it. No, we're still not getting much. So that's okay. That means I used a nice thin coat. So we're just going to wash off the rest of this. So the paint comes off fairly quick. I'm just giving it more water. And because it's that jelly, and see. And then later on when I'm all done, I can even clean it better. But for now, that's good enough. So now I'm going to start with my second layer. This time I'm using a couple of darker, brighter colors. This is the Peony Pink. And then I'm using Primary Blue. Now you can use any paints, acrylic paints on these. I like to use these squeeze bottles just because it's so easy to get my color out. But any acrylic paint you have, it can be craft store paint. It doesn't have to be expensive paint at all. Probably the cheaper paints might work better because they're a bit more fluid. And you just want to blend it around. Something like that. I had also cleaned my brayer before starting my next color paints. So this time I'm going to use this green. I'm going to put it on. Now I'm taking that same page and doing it. Now of course if you don't want a layer, if one layer is all you want, that's fine. You can do 2 layers, you can do 10 layers, whatever you want for your page. I'm just going to show you though how the 2 layers look together. So I'm just going to try and burnish it down with my fingers. And we'll see what we come up with. Ooh, so you can see how that made a really neat design across the page. I quite like that. So we're going to remove this. We'll try again, see on our same little tag here if any of that can be stamped off. Oh, at that time you can see we got a lot more. So depending on how much paint you've used will depend the type of imprint you can get, but that's really cool there. I'm going to put my thing down there. So now once again you can see we have design stuff going on here. So I'm going to take that same piece of paper and lie it down, and I can move it over, whatever I want to do. I don't have to go right on top. Okay, we're going to peel that off. You can see we got a really neat print there with some of that green and blue coming in from underneath. And it's looking rather thin, but we will give it a try to see if we can get any tags off this one. But I'm not holding my breath this time because it's rather thin looking. Yeah, nothing really. Because the thing too I want to just point out is because it's so thin that you want to dry it between layers, but it's so thin that it's pretty much dry instantly. You don't have to worry about heating it between the layers. It's such a thin coat of paint that it's dry almost immediately. So anyway, that is some looks you can get using the Gelli Arts Printing Press or plates with the new Crafters Workshop templates. Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, I'm showing you some new core dies from Lifestyle Crafts. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.